Hey, good morning. It's a new week, and here we go. We were on vacation last week, and boy, that was nice. We just went as a family, and we just took a week and just spent time together, and it was great. We went to Florida, and we were in the Pensacola area, and my word, it was a lot different than here. I'm not much of a traveler, and so to get me there was probably my family's biggest success of the week for sure. But anyway, it was just absolutely beautiful. And then while we were there, the government shutdown affected travel and everything else, and so it was kind of a mess getting home, but we made it, and we are ready for a new week and ready to get back to cowboying. So we got lots of things to catch up on, and honestly, I'm really glad to be back to work. It was a nice vacation, but I'm glad to be back and to get things done. So how we're going to start today is we had a bunch of dry cows that during the summer, and we put them on some pasture. And we've got to go get those cows this morning and bring them in. They're going to get pregnancy tested tomorrow. And we're also going to be with Black Diamond Ranch tomorrow, pregnancy testing horses. And I'm going to tell you about that because it's going to be awesome. And then we've got to go get all the bulls out of fall pasture and get them in their winter pasture this week. And we might make another run down on that river to see what we can do about more of those river cows. There's still quite a few down there, and we need to go back down there and check that out. So that's going to be our week, and it'll be a good week. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I'm going to start by just telling you about these two colts here. We left off last week, and I said, or 2 weeks ago, and I said that I would tell you about them, and then I completely forgot. So these are the newest additions to our horse herd. And both of these colts came from Black Diamond Ranch, from Kenny Black. He has an absolutely phenomenal horse program, and the majority of our horses come from him. And we try to buy a baby or two every year so that we keep our horses going. And these are the two newest prospects. And so we're just so happy about having them. The darker colt here is he's got some play gun in his papers, and the mare is I'm trying to think of exactly how she's bred, but it's a Gallo del Cielo stud. I mean, that's back on in her pedigree, and of course he's absolutely phenomenal. And so we're excited about this colt here. And then the little Palomino is out of one of Kenny's mares and a stud that's called Flying Greyhawks. And we are super excited about that. So that stud is kind of an outcross. And anyway, we'll just see what this does. And there's a whole story behind the stud and the whole story behind this baby. And again, I'll try to tell you about that as we get going this week. But we're just so excited about these two babies, and we haven't touched them yet, so they're not halter broke or anything. They've been at our place for about 10 days now, close to 10 days. So they're just getting weaned and getting used to being on hay and things like that, and see, we're pretty excited about it. And then I got Glade right there, and tomorrow I'm going to have his eye looked at. He's got a little bit of a growth in his left eye, and I'm pretty nervous about it, and I'm going to have the vet just check it out. But I've been noticing it for probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I think it's time to have the vet look at it. So we're going to do that tomorrow too. Anyway, okay, so I'm loaded up and headed out to gather these cows up. All right, getting these cows gathered up. Take them up here to a corral and load them up. right, we're gonna put these cows in this old corral right here. Hey, it's a new day. I'm down on the desert, and I'm down here to check a few things. And we're not preg checking cows or horses today because the schedule got changed. Some conflict with getting the vet here, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. So I just took the chance to come down here today. We've got a report that we've got cows that have gone into Johns Canyon, so we're gonna go down here and check it out and see if there's cows there. The report also said that the gates were gone, and I don't know what that means. So we're gonna go see what's going on. But anyway, I wanted to show you one of these water pups that we use and just kind of show you how it works. So I'm gonna turn the camera around here and I'll show you. Okay, so these are super handy. And if you've been watching the channel, then you've seen them before, but they hold, I don't know, 2,500 to 3,000 gallons, somewhere in there. And we put a trough underneath them with a float on it. And we use these pups to spread the cows out, to put water in places where there's normally not water. And it allows the cows to use the country a little bit better and not congregate up on the traditional water spots. And so, anyway, that's what they are and how we use them. And we have a water truck that we fill these up every so often and just keep water in front of the cows. All right, so on my way to check the gates, I stopped by this one of our water sites, and what we do is we fill these big tanks right there, and then we put a float box in and a trough, and that's how we water in this area. But this was leaking. You can see the water's been running down the country. And so I came up here and got in where the valve is in the box, and the PVC pipe right below that valve there is broken and has a big hole in it. So I don't have any parts with me today, but I'll get some parts and get back down here and get that thing fixed. But I'm gonna turn off the water so we don't drain everything down the country. Okay, I made it to the gate, and there is no gate. Somebody has come in and cut it off, my word. Cut the gate off. Well, after looking around for a minute, I found the gate. And I'll show you where it is. So there's the gate there. And somebody decided it would be a good idea to throw that gate off the cliff and bend and break it all up. Now, I could definitely, I think, get that gate out of here. I've got a winch on my side-by-side, but I can also see that the gate is completely bent and broken where it was pushed off. And I don't know if it's even worth salvaging. But what a shame, huh? Good grief. Okay, I've kind of looked around a little bit more, and it's actually would be pretty hard to get off to that gate. Probably have to do a little bit of a rappel. And I just don't know if it's worth all that, especially when it's not going to work anyway. The thing I would do, though, is just clean it up so there's not a bunch of garbage around here, you know, and trash. And I think I can do that if I get some kind of a hook and throw a hook down and pull it back out of there. But now I know we got one more gate, and I know what to expect when I get there. Somebody is going to have thrown that gate over the edge too. And I shake my head at things like this. There's just no question about who it was, you know, these environmental terrorist groups that do this kind of stuff. And it's interesting because they're out to save the world, and they do that by destroying property, being violent, and in some cases killing animals. It's just the truth, and I just don't understand it. So the cows are not supposed to be back here. There's just a certain time of the year that they're supposed to be here, and so by throwing the gates off the edge, now they've let cows back in here, which defeats the purpose, I think. But anyway, all right, so I'm not going to talk anymore about that because that's not what our channel is about or our videos. It's not about hate, contention, and those kind of things. And so I'll go check the other gate. Okay, here's our next gate, and it's gone. And I thought I could see it when I was driving in here. Yeah, right there. So that's not terrible. It's not broken or bent up. He couldn't carry it far enough to throw it off the edge, I guess. But I can get that gate and put it back where it's supposed to be. Oh, good grief. Okay. All right, got that one put back up. And I need to get an idea of exactly how many cows are in here. So I'm gonna buzz around and see what I can see. By the tracks, it looks like there's probably 5, maybe 6 at the most, but anyway, I'll go see if I can see any. Yeah, all right, I came down to check one more spot down on this river to see if there were some cows down here that aren't supposed to be here. And I'll turn the camera around and show you, but I'm gonna peek up over this edge, and I thought I could see several cows right here. So anyway, I'll turn the camera around and show you. Looks like maybe a yearling right there. And there are a few more kind of behind these trees right here. There's a black one right there. And there's a couple of red ones. I'll see if I can get a little better look at them. So I'm quite a ways away from them. I'm up on the cliff looking down, so they don't know I'm here. But anyway, I think I've counted 4 cows so far. And that little yearling, and it looks like there might be one other yearling in there. Hey, good morning, new day. And I got Mark here helping me today, which is a good thing. But we're headed down to preg check cows and horses today. And what this is, it's just a few, just some cleanup. So there's probably, well, those cows we got a couple of days ago, we got to pregnancy test those and a few things. And then we're going to pregnancy test, help Kenny pregnancy test Black Diamond Ranch mares, which is going to be fun. And like I said, he has a lot of super nice horses, and I'll put some contact information for him down in the description. If you're interested in any of these babies or mares, or babies out of the mares, you can get a hold of him. But he just has a phenomenal program, and that's where, I guess you can see him there. It's where our babies come from, and they're Pitzer Ranch influenced, very strong Pitzer Ranch bloodlines, and so that's really, I mean, just awesome prospects. So, and then one other thing I just wanted to mention. Yesterday I made a statement. I said something about we know who did the gate thing. And I wanted to tell you how I know who did the gate thing, because I don't want you to think I'm just assuming things. It's been a few weeks ago, but there was actually a individual that came into the area and did a lot of damage and took an axe and busted solar panels that were hooked on wells, and just destroyed a lot of property in the name of saving the environment. Did $40,000 worth of damage, and we didn't know about the gates at that point. But anyway, they did catch him because there was cameras on some stuff, and that's how they caught him. So anyway, that's how I know. And again, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, well, here's a bunch of babies that some of these he's keeping. Kenny is keeping for breeding, brood mares, and there's still some in here for sale, but these are what's left of his babies this year. There's, I think, 3 in this pen, 3 fillies in this pen that are for sale. And I'll show you the mares here in just a minute, but just a really, really nice set of colts. All right, and here's the mares that'll be tested today. But a really, really nice set of mares. Again, have a lot of that Pitzer Ranch bloodlines all through them, and just kind of the best of the best in this pen. So it'll be fun to see what's bred and how they're bred. I always love that part. I love to see horses and look at their bloodlines and see how things turn out. It's super fun. If you're familiar with any of the Pitzer Ranch stuff, I can tell you a little bit about some of these bloodlines. These mares, a bunch of them are out of Mia Browbeater. Several of them are out of Dukes and Divas and Duke Got Jack. Those are 3 pretty prominent studs that they have. All right, we're gonna test cows first. Load the chutes and start running them through. Okay, got the cows done. Now we're on to horses. All right, doing good so far. Almost everything's been bred, so we're not quite halfway through them. I've had one open, but anyway, things are going good. Okay, all done preg checking. The mare's actually bred back great. Only a couple that didn't, so good day. Hey, good morning, new day. And we are all, I got the crew here today. Steve, Jaden Baker, Trace and Taryn. And anyway, we're headed down the river. Gonna see if we can find those cows I saw the other day and a few more. There's reports that there's some bulls down in there too. So anyway, got all the dogs. So I'll get lots of exercise today, yelling, probably, but we'll go see what we can do. Right, so hey, as we're riding down to where these cows are, looking for cows, I wanted to give a shout out to Bodie Johnson. So Bodie is a local guy who has started his own hat business, and we've known Bodie for years and years, and we went over and got some hats from him, and man, they were awesome. And anyway, he custom shapes and is putting together these. You can get basically any kind of hat you want, and so anyway, I'll throw some videos on here of those hats, but wanted to make sure we mention that today. The hats you see us wear are going to be coming from Bodie. Okay, made it down to the river, and we're just going to take the dogs and ride through some of this thick stuff and see what's here. It's just super hard to find anything in here. That's why they're here, I guess, because we can't get them out. But anyway, we're gonna go look around. All right, there's a really cool ruin down here called River House, and you can see it right there. Just a really, really neat ruin. Quite a few petroglyphs in around here too. Kind of a cool place. Anyway, we're gonna drop off here and down at the bottom and see if there's anything down here. Okay, well, dogs took off and been on a run getting up through here, but cornered some cows right here. We're just gonna see what we've got, see if they're whose they might be, if they belong to people or not, but just check them. Okay, so these are not our cows. They're on our permit, but they're not ours. They belong to people across the river, I think. And we are not gonna mess with them. We're gonna leave them here. I'll tell the people about them and see what we need to do. But the dogs had a good chase anyway. But we're gonna ride on up and see if there's anything else on up this canyon here. Boy, it just gets so thick you can't even move. And so anyway, we're gonna turn around and ride back out. See if we catch anything on the way out. It's crazy because there are just fresh tracks everywhere and lots of tracks. But they must just be going back and forth across the river because we are not turning up anything. So anyway, we'll head back out of here and see if we pick something up on the way back. Smart ones are walking. All right, so I'm just going to show you some of these tracks, but you can see these tracks right in front of me. These are big tracks, big bull tracks. And so it's crazy because you know that they're in here, but we are not turning them up. But lots of tracks, and they're not that old. I mean, within the last couple of days. So, but they're just all over. I mean, a bunch of them. Anyway, we're just gonna kind of keep looking around and see if we can come up with something. Okay, so here are a couple of the hats that I was telling you about. This is one of my hats and a hat for Stephanie. We got these hats from Bodie Johnson, and he just does a great job in getting you whatever kind of hat you want, and he shapes it. And anyway, he's just been great, and he's starting a new business, and we want to support his business. And so if you're interested in a hat, you can reach out to Bodie. But pretty nice hats. And then I've been working on a few projects. Got this breast collar here that's that I just finished up. I'm going to be working on a pair of chaps in the next week or so. And I got a saddle right there that needs to be finished. And hopefully it'll be done before Christmas. So anyway, I'm going to put Bodie's contact information down in the description. Like I say, if you're interested in a hat, give him a yell. And as well, I'm also going to put Black Diamond Ranch contact information if you're interested in a baby that you saw there as we were preg testing horses, or babies in the future Give Kenny a yell. He is doing a great job and has a fantastic program. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next week.